Not for nothing, guys, but I totally called this last week. The duel was literally just he summons the ancient gear thing that has no sense to me in his deck, and then it just sort of wreaks havoc for a little while, and then Shun beats it, and I remember his name is Shun. But honestly, who cares? That was awesome! Look, just because I predicted what happened didn't make it any less cool. And the details and all that stuff were amazing. Again, the Ancient Gear card, it's a pretty dumb addition. It doesn't look like the other Ancient Gears. It's just a Gundam. I don't like the color scheme of it. The effect's interesting, but by just making it be on the field and use its effects for all of 5 minutes, it doesn't really give it the unique edge that would make it really cool. And we know we're going to see this thing, but because of how it was used this time in its premiere, it's not going to be as interesting next time. But it was still awesome, namely that satellite cannon Falcon guy. That was cool. I mean, it was just a fun to watch scene, and what was really important about this episode wasn't necessarily the duel, but the emotions around it. How does everyone react to finding out about Dennis being a bad guy? And I thought that was handled perfectly, namely from Yugioh. It was so great to see him just get crushed, because he liked Dennis, and Dennis was someone he thought he could aspire to be and look up to as another entertainment duelist. But that was taken away from him. And you not only see how that gets angry and scares him and all that good stuff we usually see with this guy, but I loved the inclusion of Yugioh in this episode. It would have been so easy to just not and just move forward. But by bringing him back and back into it, not only does it remind us, A, he's here, but B, it allows for us to see the sort of push and pull going on with Yugioh with the Berserk mode. I loved seeing him go into that temporarily, but then see him pull himself out of it. And I love the way he pulled out of it. Him remembering that he can't duel like this. Just that scene alone of him with the hair down but the eyes still all creepy is a very powerful image, because it really does show you the internal struggle going on with this kid as he's trying to make sense of everything. And I thought it was beautifully executed and fun to watch, and it really got me into what's probably going to happen next. Also, it was great finally getting to see Ruri. It's been, what, a year and a half since we found out about this character? Again, I'm actually a little disappointed by the design. I know I've gone off about how, why make their hair colors different and go crazy if they're just all supposed to look the same, but I was a little underwhelmed. I understand she does need to sort of look similar to Shun and feel like she's from the same world as Yugioh, but honestly, she just sort of looked like what I imagine Serena looks like with her hair down, but it's fine. I'm sure I'll get used to that as time goes on. It was nice to see that character, and again, was it particularly a twist that Dennis was the one who captured her, or has something to do with this, or that Yugioh went and got him? Not at all. It was, in fact, pretty obvious when you think about it, but it still worked because, again, the twist may not have been that impactful, but what it does to everyone else in the story is really what matters. You see Shun as he's finally found the one responsible for taking his sister away and how that anger comes out. Again, it was sort of Shun's typical anger, as the character only seems to have one emotional setting right now, but it was still awesome to see that Falcon. It was awesome to see the effect goes off. It was awesome to see Shun think of everything that's happened to him. Again, this was a very simple episode in what happened, and it did go exactly as you expected, but it took everything you were expecting and turned it up to an 11, brought in the amazing, and again, I love seeing the destruction of the arena. Again, I feel like it probably would have killed some people, but whatever. It was still awesome to watch. If I were to pick a big complaint besides the two I mentioned, I do think it was sort of pointless making it at the end there that the council won't let Reiji see Dennis. Again, it's Reiji, so they're probably just going to make that, he either predicted it, or what's happening with the blonde guy, it just happens right afterwards anyways, which it looks like it's going to happen, so it sort of just makes that scene feel irrelevant and pointless. And yes, I get it, it's supposed to show that the council doesn't want to get involved or is useless or just so obsessed with their own society, but we kind of already figured that, and I thought maybe that scene was a little unnecessarily. Maybe we could have put that a little more into the duel, doing a little something extra, or touching up a bit with Yugioh, or maybe giving Yugioh a few more lines, or giving Sora any lines. But again, everything was awesome. That's a nitpick. It was a great episode, and I'm so excited to see what happens next week. Shit's about to go down, and it was awesome. And now it's time for your TCG question of the week. Yes, was that a bad transition? I know, but screw it. We're already into it. Now, for those of you who haven't heard, in other words, you've been living under a rock, an interesting new trap card was confirmed either today or yesterday, but everyone's talking about it today, so I am as well. The card is called Dragon's Bind. And basically, you activate this card by targeting one Dragon-type monster you control with 2,500 lesser attack or defense, and neither player can special summon monsters with attack lower than or equal to that monster's original attack. When that monster leaves the field, destroy this card. Basically, everyone's kind of losing their minds over this card. Obviously, the major combo is you get out to start a Spark Dragon, and then basically nothing can kill either of these cards. But it does sort of have me wondering, this is different as far as cards that do restrictions do. This isn't, here's a card and it either fits new into a deck or it's replacing something that's needed in the game right now, like Emptiness or Jin or Royal Oppression. This is a card that's going to require you to use things that aren't really that meta right now. Stardust Spark Dragon obviously being the obvious, Clearwing Synchro Dragon being another, Heretics will probably see some more play, Red Eyes can now do stuff, and it is interesting to see sort of what people's reaction to this card be. Is it poison because it restricts, or is it good because it might hopefully change the meta up and add some new interesting combos? What do you think in the comment section below about this card? I am genuinely curious. I personally think, look, stuff for restriction comes out a lot, so I'm kind of indifferent to anything at this point. It'll be interesting to see, but I'll need to test the card out on myself beforehand. But as of right now, it is a really cool card, and I do think it's interesting, but I do think it can hurt, because you got to get the Dragon Synchro out, and a lot can happen while you do that Synchro Summon. But regardless, in the comment section below, give me your thoughts on this card and anything that happened in the episode. And as always, click to like and click to subscribe so we can see what happens next time.